I suppose the great thing about living in England and reviewing e-bikes is that we've actually got real weather. I'm getting absolutely soaked. Now, is this bike waterproof? I hope so. I think this is the worst weather I've ever been out in. It's just ridiculous. You can't get that kind of test in your sunny climate e-bike testing countries. This is the PVY Z20 MAX, and it's not an upgrade of the Plus, more of an upgrade of the Pro. So they had the PVY Z20 Pro, which is a very nice bike. They had the PVY Z20 Plus, which is a fat tyre fast bike. The Max came out. I thought it was going to be like a fat tyre type bike, but it wasn't. Kind of like an upgraded version of the Pro. So let's see how it does. Whilst I've been talking, I've been driving it or riding it with no power, and it feels nice. I'm in gear 2. It's got 7 gears. Shimano Tawny system. They're okay. Kind of budget gears. Most bikes have them, to be fair. Most budget bikes. Now, when it comes, it is locked to 25 kilometers per hour. So they say it's 250 watts. It also can be unlocked. And when unlocked, well, we'll find out later how fast it goes. It does have a throttle as well, which only works in pass 0. So if I go to pass 1, pedal assist 1, throttle no longer works. So 0 is the throttle mode. Now, we've already done a first impression, so if you want to see the general how it looks and how it folds up, that video will be linked in the description. It's got 2 36-volt batteries, one inside the frame, which is 15 amp hours, and then this kind of bottle looking thing, which is 10.6, I believe, giving a total of 25.6 amp hours and a massive predicted 200 kilometer range. Most likely not with me on it. Oh bloody hell, this is ridiculous. It was sunny just. Right, let's get a bit of pedal assist going. So pedal assist 1, can't really feel anything. But gears are skipping a bit. Like I say, they are the budget gears. They are, you can adjust them, but sometimes when you get the bikes, sometimes you're lucky and they're perfectly adjusted, sometimes you're unlucky and they're not perfectly adjusted, but they are easily adjustable. Turning 2 screws. Oh. Why do I do it? Why do I do it? We're in pedal assist 3, so let's do a bit of ghost pedaling. It has got a cadence, no, it's got a torque sensor. So this bike has a torque sensor. What does that mean? It means usually a bike has what we call a cadence sensor, which means when it detects that you're pedaling and turning your feet, I'm getting absolutely soaked. As soon as it recognises that you're turning, it gives it all the available power for whatever pedal assist mode you're in. Torque sensor, it actually detects when you push on the pedals, and as soon as it feels pushing, it gives you an amount of power based on how hard the bike thinks you're pushing. And generally torque sensors are more expensive. A lot of people prefer them because it feels more natural. Lazy people like me quite like a cadence sensor because I kind of just want to ghost pedal and get the full power. If I want to get the full power in pedal assist 3, I've actually got to try. Let me know in the comments, what do you prefer? Torque sensor like on this bike, or a cadence sensor like on most cheap bikes? Love me neck. Let's get across here. Now, a good thing about a torque sensor is that when you want to pull away, let's say on a hill, as soon as it realises that you're trying to get away by pushing, it gives you that power. Whereas on a cadence sensor, it wants you to do some turns first, which obviously, if you're on a hill, can be quite difficult. Now, is this bike waterproof? I hope so. Well, actually, no. It's not waterproof, it is water resistance. So in this rain, it should be fine. They'll always say we don't recommend it, but you can do it. I wouldn't recommend it. If it was like this in the morning, I wouldn't say go get on your e-bike. However, if you had to, you could do it. Just don't drive through a canal. I'm actually dripping now. My Ex-Nito helmet, very nice helmet, has got a materially bit at the front. I'm hoping that doesn't just get wrecked. This is a fully legal e-bike. It comes locked. It doesn't have a throttle. It's just that if you want to, you can put the throttle on. It comes in the box. And obviously, as we said, you can unlock it. And right now I'm going 20 up a moderate hill, way faster than I would be on a normal bike. We are going to the hill climb at Sandy Lane, and this bike has got 80 Newton meters, which is massive if it's true. Cruise control has just kicked in because I've held down a certain speed for a certain amount of time. Look, look. Now pulling on the brake stops it. To be fair, it does feel good up this hill. It does feel very good. No indicators. The screen is lovely, LED, very visible. It's not mega sunny today, but I have seen it in the sun and it's decent. All the settings you would expect. And here we are at the hill climb. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, my denim jeans no longer look like denim. They look like wetsuit shorts. This is going well, it seems. Right, okay. Now I can tell that 80 Newton meters of torque, and this isn't as strong as the 80 Newton meters of torque in other bikes I've tried. So I would hazard a guess and say that it's not really 80 Newton meters of torque. But the great thing is, because we do the hill climb leaderboard, you'll be able to see exactly where this bike places and compare it directly to other bikes. But it has made it up, unlike the PVY Z20 Pro. And let's see what kind of time it gets. And stop.
And the PVY Z20 MAX completes Sandy Lane with a time of 1 minute and 22 seconds. Not a bad time, but by no means amazing. This bike will get you up hills, but the claimed 80 Newton meters of torque seems quite a bit off, especially since the Vitalan i7 Pro in the last video also has a claimed 80 Newton meters of torque and became the 3rd fastest e-bike up the hill.
Right, I'm going 25 miles an hour though on the flat, slightly up actually. So that's decent. Now let's put the gears up. Let's see if I can help. 27, 28, 29, 30, wow. I think some kids shouted at me. That was good, that. I didn't think this bike could go that fast, especially with me on it. I've got to admit I was worried because, well, I wasn't worried. I saw that it was 36 volts and I thought, why have you gone 36 volts? Because generally 36 volt e-bikes aren't as fast, but this feels good. It feels as fast as you'd want it. You don't need it faster than this, but with that massive range as well. 2 big capacity batteries. That bottle is removable, but it does leave behind a kind of an ugly frame that holds the bottle. So you wouldn't really want to have it without it. I would say if you were using this bike for work, probably just don't bother taking the bottle battery. Just use the inside battery. You need the inside battery to run it.
Now let's say you need to take this bike to work, but you'd rather not leave the battery with the bike. How quick could the battery be removed with practice and put back? Let's find out.
Let's pretend I've just pulled up and go. I'm not gonna race. So we wanna obviously undo this, pull that out, split that open like that. I'd go a quarter of the way, and then you wanna unplug that, pull it out. There is a lever. Pull the key out first, pull the battery out, close it again. Stop. Right, let's see how that is. Now let's put it back in again. And of course you need the key to actually run the bike, so you have to put the key in. Question is, do you put the battery in, then put the key in, then it's easier to close? Or do you put the battery in, close it when it's all falling out, because the battery does like to fall out if the key's not in, and then possibly pinch your fingers? That is a decision you've got to make. But I'm sure you'll stumble on whatever works for you. I think this is the worst weather I've ever been out in. It's just ridiculous, but it's a good test for an e-bike. You can't get that kind of test in your sunny climate e-bike testing countries. I think this is commitment. Let's test out that suspension. Whoa, ooh. Right, now my back seat. Oh, wow. Right, the road is very potholy and there's speed bumps. It's really good actually. Well, let's think negatives, because so far I'm quite impressed. When I did that first impression, I did notice that the suspension, the front suspension was a bit I thought, when I realised this wasn't a fat tyre e-bike, I thought this was basically like a premium version of the Z20 Pro, because the Z20 Pro is quite cheap, whereas this one's like €1,000. By the way, links in description if you're interested in buying it. Helps the channel if you use our links. And there should be a discount code too to hopefully save a bit more money. But yeah, I think this is just over €1,000, which in itself isn't too expensive. But I thought they were going for the whole premium thing, having hydraulic brakes instead of mechanical, having the massive range, but the front suspension still isn't adjustable. So I would have liked to see adjustable front suspension, because on day-to-day road riding, if you are commuting, you don't really, I don't think you need it as much anyway. Some people don't want it, and also it does bottom out a bit, like you can make it clink. You can hear that clink clink like that. So it is bottom outable. But although it's 36 volts, like I say, I was a bit disappointed in that. It rides like a 48 volt bike, so that's not a problem at all. It feels powerful, the motor feels strong. It's got them foldable pedals, which is great because it all folds up. However, they're the kind of crappy ones, fully plastic. I can feel them bending a bit when I push down. You can get metal pedals that fold. They've been on the old Engine Pro. So it's a bit sad that there's still a few low-end components on the bike when they've gone to the effort of making it look good.
Other features of the bike are a front and rear light, the rear light also being a brake light. The stand is nice and chunky and feels sturdy, as does the rear rack and front and rear mudguards. And rather than a belt, it has a buzzer. The 2-amp charger is said to have a 4 to 7 hour charge time, which is basically not true, because in 7 hours with 100% efficiency it could fill 14 amp hours, but the batteries combined are 25.6 amp hours. So basically it could charge the small bottle battery and nearly charge the internal battery, but you need to charge them both separately, so actually the real 0 to 100% charge time is more like 14 hours. I think since the capacity is so huge, it would have been nice for PVY to include a 3-amp charger rather than just a 2-amp charger.
Is it worth doing a brake test in this? Right, 20. Whoa, in the wet. In the wet. Okay, that sign, I don't think that's bad in the wet. However, I'm not really sure what I'm comparing it to. Same as men in the wet. When I was going up the hill, there was a bit of voltage sag where the bars went down to 3. It's still on 5. But I've done 8 miles, still on full bars, as you'd expect with the 2 batteries. Right, so I'm under full throttle with cruise control on, and it's gone down to 4. That massive range will be pedal assist 1, probably a 60-70 kilogram rider. I'm about 100. I'll tell you what I'm not a massive fan of. I'm not a massive fan of the way it's set up. Right, with the throttle in 0 and then pedal assist in 1, 2 and 3. I'm not sure you can change it in the settings. but I'd rather just throttle be available on all pedal assists, and ideally as well maximum full throttle on all pedal assist settings. That's my favourite setup, but that's a personal thing. You might not think the same. I do love the way it just kicks in really quick and you don't have to actually turn anything. It's safer than the cadence sensor because it doesn't suddenly just jolt you forward with the slightest tap, and then if you want to go faster you just pedal a bit faster. PVY have also released the Libon, which is another interesting one because it's another 36 volt bike, so it's not like a super fast bike. It's definitely not as fast as this. It's got thin tyres, it's foldable, but it's really light. We will review that soon, but we're going to do a comparison as well of all the features, what this has, what that has. But yeah, that was the PVY Z20 MAX, and it's nice. I like it, especially for a smaller bike. If you need a smaller bike and not a big fat tyre one, this is decent. I like the power. I like the fact that you can have it legal mode or not legal mode. Obviously, if you have it in not legal mode, make sure you're in America like I am. I'm always getting in trouble for riding on the wrong side of the road, so watch out for that. So if you like the look of this bike, feel free to check it out on their website. Use the links in the description if you will, because it helps the channel a lot. Thank you for watching this video. If it helped you in any way, hit that like button. If it didn't help you, or you got annoyed, or you thought I was just trying to sell it to you, dislike button, that's absolutely fine as well. Plenty more bikes coming up, but until next time, ride safe.